How have landmark court cases advanced Indigenous rights in the Arctic? Imagine a world where the laws protect the very lands and traditions that define a community's identity. That's what landmark court cases have done for Indigenous peoples in the Arctic. These legal decisions have helped recognize their rights to land, resources, and self-governance. They have set important examples for how justice can support Indigenous cultures and societies. Courts have acknowledged that Indigenous peoples, hunting, fishing, and land management are not just customs but essential rights linked to their survival. For example, the Swedish Supreme Court ruled that the Sami community has exclusive rights to manage hunting and fishing in their traditional territories. They confirmed that the Sami have held these lands since time immemorial, giving them control over natural resources vital to their way of life. In Europe, the European Court of Human Rights has said that restricting access to resources like reindeer herding and hunting can violate Indigenous property rights if the restrictions are unfair or too harsh. These rulings highlight the importance of balancing public interests with Indigenous cultural and economic needs. In Canada, the Supreme Court's decision in the case of Delgamuukw versus British Columbia was a major step forward. It confirmed that Indigenous nations have legal rights to their lands and can govern them. The court also recognized that Indigenous oral histories and traditional knowledge are valid evidence in land claims. This decision strengthened Indigenous claims to their territories and their right to self-rule. International courts have also played a role. The Inter-American Court of Human Rights made a historic ruling protecting Indigenous peoples living in voluntary isolation in Ecuador's Amazon. This case set a precedent for safeguarding Indigenous autonomy and their lands from harmful industries like oil drilling. Although this case was in the Amazon, it shows how global legal systems are increasingly recognizing Indigenous rights everywhere, including the Arctic. These court decisions have practical effects. They give Indigenous communities legal control over their lands and resources. They help create zones where industrial activities need Indigenous consent before proceeding. They also support Indigenous participation in decisions that affect their lives and environments. Overall, these legal rulings have helped affirm that Indigenous peoples' connection to their lands is real and important. They have strengthened their ability to protect their cultural practices and live according to their traditions. These cases show how law can be a powerful tool in supporting Indigenous rights in the Arctic and beyond.